You know, when we think of sand, we think of something that's worthless, right? I mean, it's just everywhere. But what if I told you that this stuff, this humble sand, is actually at the center of a violent, global black market? That people are literally being murdered for it, and entire islands are just vanishing because of it. Well, this is the story of the Great Sand Heist. So, our story kicks off in a place you'd expect to find a whole lot of sand. A tropical paradise. We're in Jamaica, on Coral Spring Beach. It's July 2008. Just picture it. You wake up, you're expecting to see this gorgeous stretch of white sand leading into that perfect turquoise ocean. But for the folks living there, one morning they woke up, and the beach, it was just gone. Poof. Overnight, 500 truckloads of pristine white sand had been stolen. This wasn't some magic trick. It was a massive, coordinated, industrial-scale heist that left behind a barren, rocky coastline and a whole lot of very confused people, kind of like this little guy here. The police, they were completely stumped. I mean, it's one of the most abundant things on the planet. It's literally dirt cheap. So why on earth would anyone go through all the trouble of stealing an entire beach? The answer to that question, well, it uncovers a really shocking truth about the world we've built. Okay, so to get to the bottom of this, we first have to understand a crucial fact. Not all sand is the same. And probably the best way to explain this is with what I like to call the Dubai paradox. It is truly mind-bending. So let's take a look at Dubai. You know, home of the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building ever made. This is a city built right on the edge of the Arabian desert. It is surrounded by a practically infinite supply of sand. And yet, to build their massive skyscrapers, they had to import sand from Australia. I'm not kidding. They shipped it thousands of miles across the ocean to a desert. It just sounds completely insane, right?
And here's why. It all comes down to the shape of the grains. See, desert sand, which has been eroded by wind for millennia, is made up of these tiny grains that are super smooth and round, like microscopic marbles. Now, if you try to make concrete with that, it's like trying to build a wall with marbles. It's just going to fall apart. But marine sand, the sand from beaches and riverbeds, has been eroded by water. So its grains are all rough, jagged, and angular. And those grains lock together perfectly like little puzzle pieces, creating the incredibly strong concrete that our entire world depends on.
So here's the key takeaway. We are not running out of all sand. We're running out of this specific type of sand, the good stuff, the stuff from beaches, coastlines, and riverbeds. This is the sand that forms the very foundation of modern civilization. And that is why that beach in Jamaica was so incredibly valuable. All right, so now we know which sand is valuable. The next question is, how much of it do we actually use? And let me tell you, the numbers are genuinely terrifying. Every single year, humanity uses 50 billion tons of this specific kind of sand. 50 billion tons. To put that in perspective, after water, it is the most consumed natural resource on the entire planet. And yeah, that little stick figures reaction, that is pretty much the correct one. Now, it's pretty hard to visualize a number that huge, so try thinking about it this way. That's enough sand to build a wall that's 88 feet high and 88 feet wide that wraps all the way around the Earth at the equator. And we use that much every single year. This chart just brilliantly illustrates the explosion in our demand for it. Just look at this comparison. Between 2011 and 2013, that's just 3 years, China used more sand and cement than the United States used in the entire 20th century. Think about that. All the dams, all the highways, all the skyscrapers America built in 100 years, China surpassed that in just 36 months. And this addiction, it's hidden in plain sight. It's not just for buildings and concrete. The glass in your windows? That's just melted sand. The silicon chip inside your phone? Made from sand. The asphalt on the road you drive on? Yep, sand. There are even ingredients in your toothpaste that come from sand. Our world is literally built from the stuff. So, what happens when you have a scarce, absolutely essential resource and an insatiable worldwide demand for it? Well, whenever that happens, things tend to get pretty dark. This is where we get into the violence, the crime, and the geopolitical chaos that's being fueled by this crisis. In countries like India, powerful, organized crime groups, they're actually known as the Sand Mafia, control the illegal trade. They dredge entire rivers dry, usually in the middle of the night. And if anyone tries to get in their way, journalists exposing them, activists protesting the environmental damage, or even police officers trying to stop them, they're met with just brutal, ruthless violence. This isn't just about theft. It's practically domestic terrorism.
But this conflict, it goes way beyond street-level crime. It's actually redrawing the map of the world. Take Singapore, for example. It's a tiny, incredibly wealthy, and extremely crowded island nation. For decades now, they've had this bold plan to solve their space problem. They're just going to build more land. Now, to create all that new land, they needed to import absolutely mind-boggling amounts of sand. So they bought it from neighboring countries like Indonesia, where these huge dredging ships with massive vacuums would literally just suck up the seafloor and the coastlines. And here is the absolutely shocking result of all that dredging. It was so relentless that 24 entire Indonesian islands have completely disappeared. They have been dredged right out of existence, just to expand Singapore's coastline. One country literally grew larger by consuming the islands of another.
And all of this leads to a truly terrifying environmental cost, which is perfectly captured in this quote. The very hunt for materials to build our future is actually threatening the stability of what we've already built.
And this isn't just some abstract theory. Back in 2001, a bridge in Portugal collapsed while a bus and 3 cars were crossing it. 59 people were killed. The investigation discovered that years and years of illegal sand mining in the river below had completely eroded the support for the bridge's pillars, causing a catastrophic failure.
Okay, so the situation is incredibly grim. It's a crisis that fuels violence, erases nations from the map, and destabilizes our world. But is there a way out? Can we solve this? Let's turn now to some of the potential solutions.
The good news is, there are some pretty smart paths forward. For one, we can recycle glass. You can just crush up old bottles and turn them back into a silica substitute that works perfectly for construction. We can also create something called manufactured sand, or M-sand, by crushing rock into the perfect-sized particles. It's a bit more expensive, yeah, but it doesn't destroy ecosystems. But maybe the most important solution is actually the third one on this list.
And really, this is what it all boils down to. It requires a fundamental shift in how we think about this stuff. We treat oil like it's gold, and we treat water like it's life itself. But we treat sand, the very substance our modern world stands on, like it's disposable garbage that's just always going to be there for the taking. And that assumption is proving to be dangerously, catastrophically wrong.
This final image just sums it all up perfectly, doesn't it? Our civilization is literally in the top of that hourglass, built on sand that is quickly running out. So the final and most crucial question is, will we change how we see this resource before the very foundation of our world slips right through our fingers?